Hello, hello. Welcome to our live stream. We are excited to celebrate our book release day with you.
Feels like it's been forever that we've been waiting for this day to come.
I know, we've been talking about it for months. I think everyone on our friends list on Facebook is just tired of hearing about it at this point in time.
I think they are too. They're like, I'm so glad this book is out so Becky and Mary can just shut their mouths about it. But
Stop talking
not
about
going
it.
to happen. So it's officially out, and my husband Earl and I, we went down to the Barnes and Noble in Florence, Kentucky, and it was on the shelf. So that was exciting. So you have to check out my personal Instagram and my Facebook page to see pictures. Of course, I had Earl take my picture in front of the store and holding Mary and I's book. I think the clerk was so excited when he found out that the local author lived about 15, 20 minutes away. He actually told her, well, we're going to hold a copy of it back, and we'll have it at the desk when you guys arrive, because Earl told him on the phone, the manager, that we were on our way from Indiana to come see our book in the store. So it was exciting. It's just exciting.
It is. Now, I live too far away. Up here, my book's not really on stores, but it's on the library shelf. So I was going to try to break away from work and go look at it at the library, but I didn't end up getting there today.
And Mary, tell them the best news. Tell them the best news, what the librarian told you.
Oh, yeah. So I put a TikTok up on my personal TikTok, and I was like, I'm going to drive out there tomorrow to go look at the book on the shelf. The librarian messaged me, and she's like, don't come out because both copies are already checked out. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
So she'll have to send me a picture of it when it comes back in.
When it gets, yeah. When it's, I definitely want to see it. It's always been a dream of ours when we were children. Mary and I spent a lot of our time in the Hammond, Indiana Public Library. Feel like I grew up there. Mom always took us, and we would check books out. So it's always been a childhood dream of both of us to have a book in the library. And so to know that Porter County Library supported us and bought the book and put it in the library, that is awesome. Aurora Public Library, which is the picture behind me on the screen, has been extremely supportive of Mary and I as well. And I know that they have ordered the copy to have available for checkout. And actually, Mary and I are going to do a program at Aurora Public Library in October. So you guys will have to watch our social media for more information. We're going to do a presentation at their local history library, which is at the old train depot, which is part of the chapter. We've got some legends about this beautiful library behind us. It's chapter 10 of the book, and we decided that it would be a good idea to share chapter 10 with you guys tonight on our live stream.
Yes. Now, if you listen to the one on Podbean, it's the same chapter, but you don't get to see our beautiful faces while we read it. So you're welcome.
That's true. All right. So I'm excited.
You want to get started?
I would love to get started. I'm so excited to just see that people showed up for our live stream tonight. That's amazing. Thank you guys for spending your evening with us. That just touches us so much that people are actually interested in our stories and legends. And I'm a big lover of history and of local folklore. Always have. And so anytime I get a chance to share history and legends, it's my thing.
Yes. Yep. We've always been history buffs. We got a lot of that from Mama. Mama loved history. So.
We did. Mom and Dad both really liked history. So I've always liked that. I taught 7th and 8th grade history at St. John's School in Aurora for a while. So that was fun. I loved doing that. And it's just amazing to me. Mary, before we share our chapter, let's tell them where they can see us if they're going to be around Southeast Indiana this weekend.
Yes, so if you happen to be down near Batesville, Indiana, we're going to be at the Ripley County Author Fair that's at the Batesville Memorial Public Library. So we're really excited to be there. We're going to be doing author booths, like author signing table, and I think Becky is going to be on an author panel.
I am. I'm going to be part of their publishing panel. Don't know what it's going to be like, but I'm super excited. It's 9:30 in the morning is the publishing panel. And then they have the booths from 10 to 12:30. And if you go on, I think it's ripleycountyreads.com. That's the website. And it has all the other authors that are going to be present. And it'll just be, I feel like it's going to be a really neat time to get some meet other local authors. So if you're into books, come out and see us. If you're in the Batesville, Indiana area, I'd love to see you. I know all the other authors that are present would love for your support as well. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Yes. And after we share our chapter, we have a couple other events we'll tell you about, but let's get to it. Let's share this
go ahead and
chapter.
Get into it. Yes.
One of my favorite chapters of the book.
This was probably my favorite chapter to write and to just look up the information for. I told this on our podcast episode, so I'll go ahead and share this with you. Those of you that know me in real life already know this about me, but I actually worked at the Aurora Public Library in 2018 and 2019. I was blessed to be a library aide there, and I loved my time at the library. I worked there while I was going to college and finishing up my teaching degree and my licensure. So it was a great opportunity for me, and it was fun. I got to meet and hear all of the ghost stories that are associated with this beautiful building that my city has been blessed with since 1914. The library's been there. We were blessed. Our town was blessed with this beautiful building and this opportunity for our community. They offer so much. And the folklore and the history of this awesome place is just amazing. So go ahead and sit back and relax. And Mary and I are going to read you guys chapter 10.
Yes. So chapter 10.
Here we go.
The city of Aurora was founded in 1819. Shortly after, plans were made to establish a library. The Aurora Public Library was organized and a lot was purchased on what is now 5th Street. It was originally known as Literary Street because of the intention to have a library there.
Gathering the funds to build a library building proved extremely difficult for the small river town. The library was first housed in various residences and eventually in a downtown jewelry store. In 1901, the library was operating out of 2 rooms in the Aurora City building on 3rd Street. The library had grown to have a collection of 3,500 books and materials. While the library was operating out of the city building, it was able to be open for 3 afternoons and 2 evenings per week.
The Aurora Public Library that we know today was built on the old Cemental property on 2nd Street in downtown Aurora, Indiana. Cemental means cattle, so it had been land that cows were on. The land was purchased with money that was donated by Miss Georgiana Sutton in 1913. Construction began, and the building was completed in 1914. A rear addition was built in 1924. The side additions were added in 1997, and the basement has undergone several renovations to house the children's section, computers, library offices, and the downstairs circulation desk.
Now, library founder Georgiana Sutton was the daughter of the famous early Aurora physician, Dr. George Sutton. Dr. Sutton, who is referred to by many as the pioneer doctor, was actually much more than that. Sutton was instrumental in the study of epidemics in Indiana in the 19th century. Georgiana was never married, and she was a well-traveled and a well-educated woman. She had inherited a lot of money from her parents when they passed.
What Georgiana wanted more than anything was to honor her parents with a public library built to honor their memory. Upon her death in 1910, she put aside $10,000 for the purchase of the library. As you enter the library, there is a plaque above the door honoring her beloved father and mother.
The library has been rumored to be haunted for many years. According to one of the Aurora Public Library historians, the rumors of the origin of the library being haunted and the ghost stories may trace back to Native American spirits. According to an October 13, 2017 Aurora Public Library blog post, an 1885 archaeological publication reported a large Indian mound in downtown Aurora that was partially destroyed when the streets were originally graded. The blog notes that the only area of downtown Aurora that is mounded is the land where the library sits today.
Dr. George Sutton was what we would call today a relic hunter. He held a strong interest in recording Native American history and wrote several papers about the Native Americans that once lived in the area. The October 13th, 2017 blog post points out that apparently when the grading was done on what is now Mechanic Street, Indian bones were discovered. Dr. Sutton was well known for having a large collection of various Native American artifacts. The Mechanic Street bones were added to his collection. One of the former library staff said that these bones from Dr. Sutton's collection were originally stored in the basement of the library.
On January the 26th, 1937, one of the very worst floods to ever hit Aurora occurred. The Ohio River on this day reached a stage of 80 feet. The entire town ended up being affected. The Aurora Public Library had 6 inches of water in its upstairs. Thankfully, none of the items in storage in the basement were damaged. As the waters inched closer and closer to the library, items were moved elsewhere for safekeeping.
As a result, the library did not lose any of its materials to floodwaters. However, Dr. Sutton's collection was part of the materials that were moved. After the flood, the library never saw the bones again. No one knows exactly what happened to them or where they are today.
There is some interesting ghost lore associated with the library. The most well-known story about the library revolves around the upstairs main library doors and is reported on the library's blog. Many of the library staff over the years have reported a strange occurrence when they're opening the upstairs doors. When you open the doors, you will find that one of the doors will open by itself, and it will do this each time.
Another well-known phenomenon is the Lady in Black. Seen by many of the staff over the decades, she is seen just out of the corner of the eye. The Lady in Black is always seen upstairs in the original part of the building. The staff over the years have caught a glimpse of a lady in a long black dress walking quickly between the shelving. Is this the spirit of the first librarian, or is it possibly Georgiana Sutton?
Now, one death did occur upstairs in 1922. According to one of the library historians, an elderly patron fell asleep and did not wake up. Local legend says that this patron did not have family and spent his days at the library, considering the library staff to be his family. To this day, the library has a policy of not allowing sleeping. This policy stemmed from this incident. Many have felt as if the man's spirit is still there over the years. Cold spots have been reported, and it's thought that it is this elderly patron's spirit.
Passers-by over the years have felt like they see people in the library after hours. Many stories circulate of people thinking they see someone in the library windows. There is an eerie feeling in the evening when you walk past the building.
According to the library blog, a paranormal group was brought in to investigate some of the reported hauntings back in 2015. The group did experience some things that they felt meant that the library may be haunted. The group caught some orbs, cold spots, and feelings of being watched. The group did get some interaction involving some of their equipment in the building, especially in the basement area where Dr. Sutton's collection was once stored so many years ago.
All right, and now we're going to move on to the old train depot.
Okay, so at 414 2nd Street in Aurora, an old train depot stands next to the railroad tracks. It's a red brick structure with a tiled roof. It was purchased in 2008 by the Aurora Library District. Since that time, it's operated as the local history library. The local library contains history from Aurora and the surrounding area that dates back to 1836.
The current building we know today was constructed in 1916 by the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad and is actually the second train depot building to have been constructed on the site. After many floods in Aurora, the original building was damaged and needed to be replaced. The first depot had been constructed in 1854 by the Mississippi and Ohio Railroad. Its purpose was for the train that ran daily between Cincinnati, Ohio, and Cochrane, Indiana.
The last train to the depot was in 1976. Between then and the purchase of the library, the depot operated as shops. So one patron recalled a flower shop being in the depot at one time, and it was also a gift shop at one time as well.
For over 122 years, many people passed through the depot. One of the local legends about the depot concerns a robbery that occurred shortly after the depot's 1916 construction. According to a former local library staff member, a conductor was robbed and put into the cellar basement one evening. He was told not to try to escape or look out, or else they would kill him. He was found later and escaped unharmed. The librarian was told this by the great-grandson of the conductor when he came by the depot one day for a visit.
Today, former employees have reported hearing sounds like someone moving around in the cellar basement. There have also been reported sounds as if the heavy door was slammed shut when the door has not been moved. There have also been lighting issues where lights turn off or go back on seemingly with a mind of their own. The classic cold spots are feelings of staff being watched when they are all alone in the building.
What or who is the spirit lingering at the Aurora Public Library and the local library depot?
Maybe someday we'll know for sure.
And that was chapter 10.
That was chapter 10. And, that was one of the most fun to write while we were working on the book.
Yes.
Dear friend of mine that I got a lot of the information for was Mrs. Kim Batchelor, and she has since passed away, but she loved ghost stories, and Mrs. Batchelor was such a wealth of information about Aurora history. So she was a big help in finding out some of the legends. She was actually working at the depot the day that the great-grandson of the conductor had stopped in. So she was the one that got to talk to him. So it's just a neat story, I think, a little piece of Aurora history.
Yes. And I love a library. So every time I'm down there, I'm always like sneaking in, and I've been with you several times over the years. Yeah.
Yes. And I see Ashton's comment. Yes, Kim is the one that told me that's why the policy was there, was Kim and Roy.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Shared that with me. Mr. Roy. Yes. That's where the policy came from, was because of that 1922 patron. And I kind of feel like sad about that he had no family. So he spent it's kind of comforting. As being a former library staff member, that touches me that man felt that the librarian and the staff there was his family. And so that's kind of comforting in a weird way. So maybe that's why his spirit may still be there, because he considered that library his home. I don't know.
Yes.
It's a neat legend. I'm so glad I was able to share that with people.
Yes, definitely. So we are going to open this up to some questions from you guys. I know there's a few of you still here. If you have any questions for us, either about the podcast or the book, let us know. And while you think of questions, we're going to tell you about a couple other events we have going on, because we have quite a few coming up.
We do. So actually, we will be at the local library depot on October the 21st. The library director, Mrs. Sutherland, has asked us to share about the podcast and some local legends and talk about our book. So I'm really excited to do that. I'd have to look it up. I think it starts at 2. We haven't put anything out on social media yet about the event, but I believe we'll be there at 2:00. And then we also have an author signing coming up, Spire Book and Coffee in Aurora on September the 23rd at 2. And Spire, for all my local Aurora people, Spire told me that they have ordered the book to have for sale in the shop. So you should be able to pop in there and get a book and come and see us on the 23rd. And we would love to see you.
And you
And
know we're going to be at Farmers Fair, because how
we
could you not be at Farmers
we
Fair?
we are going to be at Farmers Fair. We're going to have a booth. We're going to be in the parade. So I hope to see a lot of people stop by and say hello to us. We'll have our book for sale as well at the Farmers Fair. So we'll be set up with our books.
Yes, I'm excited. I
Me
haven't been to
too.
Farmers Fair in a few years, and now you get to be in it. Feel fancy.
I know.
So nerdy.
Yes.
We have a lot of other events that are in the works, so we're going to start adding these to our social media. So if you just keep watching, because I'm sure we'll have more that pop up as we go along.
Yes. So one of the things I wanted to share, since I know there's a lot of local people watching this, but I was not blessed enough to grow up in Dearborn County, but I've been able to call it my home for over 20 years now. And I loved working on this book because I love living here so very much and sharing the legends of our neat town and the history here, the ghost lore, the folklore, the history was just an honor for me to do. And I'm so glad I got to do it with my sister.
I know. We're already like, what else can we write together?
Yes. What else? We're already got other ideas in the works. So
We do. It was fun to write a book together. Definitely.
it was.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, I don't see any questions coming through. So if you
I don't
guys do have
either.
any questions because you watched this on the replay, just leave them in the comment
Yes.
section and we'll circle back with you.
Yes. If you watch them in the replay, please leave them in the comment section. And I just noticed Ashton's other comment. Yes, Kim would have absolutely loved this and known that, she helped me so much with the book.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
It's such a fun experience to write about.
It is. It's so neat. And just keep an eye on our social media pages. We've got more good stuff coming. So bye.
Definitely. Thank you guys for spending the evening with us. We'll see you guys later.
See you later, guys. Stay spooky.
Bye.